That is what we are going to be doing virtually today, as much as I hate to say virtually, but we are going to be eating barbecue and drinking our way around the South. So with that, I would like to say a huge welcome today. We are really glad you could make it, and I really appreciate your time to learn about everything Southern. My name is Penny Brandt. I am the account manager with Travel South USA. I am based here in Sydney, so I can get back to you on our time from Australia and New Zealand. And yeah, I'm here to help whatever way I can. So to put it simply, there is just so much to do, see, explore and eat in the South that we've had to develop a whole series on it. Our first stop, we looked at Southern cuisine. Then we went out and visited some of the national parks and seashores. And then we learnt about the music that came from the South. So what's next? Well, this monthly series, The Authentic South, has still got plenty to explore. And each month we are going to delve deep into the authentic South. Next up, we've got the US Civil Rights Trail through Alabama, followed by the byways and highways throughout Louisiana. After that, we are going to be looking at adventure and adrenaline and visiting West Virginia's Bridge Day. Then we will go and have a look at some of these Southern spectator sports with a highlight on the Kentucky horse racing. We'll be going to the natural wonders after that, and we will finish it up at Christmas time with the authentic Southern holiday celebrations. Don't forget that the webinars will always take place at 10 a.m. on the last Wednesday of every month. So keep an eye on those inboxes to register. Now there is one exception, and that is going to be in December. We're going to pop that on for Wednesday, the 15th of December for our holiday celebrations, because hopefully people will be away and holidaying, and you're going to have lots of clients traveling somewhere again. So that warm welcome and that famous hospitality is going to be ready to greet your clients when we can jump on that plane again. As I mentioned, today we are focusing on the traditional barbecue, and South Carolina is the birthplace and the home of the official 4 sauces. So today we are going to discover why the time-honoured traditions of South Carolina's slow and low keep visitors coming back for seconds over and over again. Not only that, we'll be looking at some of the booze in the South, famous all around the world for American whiskey, which includes Kentucky, Tennessee, so lots of great things to do here in the South. But first, let's take a look at what the other states have to offer. And just to give you a reminder, the southern states are down in this southeastern corner of the USA, and we are going to be talking about a major 6, starting off in Louisiana. Now, Louisiana, I'm not even going to mention barbecue because the state is famous for so many drinks and cocktails that it just doesn't compare. All of these drinks were invented in New Orleans. So you've got the absinthe frappe, the mint julep, the Creole Bloody Mary, and of course, something we all may remember, the good old Southern Comfort. And let's start with that because it was invented in 1874 by New Orleans bartender Martin Wilkes Heron. He wanted to make whiskey more enjoyable. And so he blended the original spirit with spices and fruits to add sweetness and smoothness. So today it's technically considered a liqueur, but there's also the Hurricane. And you may have seen those photos in many different times in the New Orleans Mardi Gras when they've got those massive big Hurricane holders. And this is made with rum, lemon juice and passion fruit syrup. And lastly, the Sazerac, and it's considered the oldest cocktail in the world. And it was invented in 1850 and is a blend of whiskey, cognac, absinthe, bitter, and sugar. So nice and strong to keep you awake, to dance the night away in Louisiana. And now we're going to head to Mississippi, right next to Louisiana, there on the Gulf Coast. And it's famous for its Mississippi punch, which is a blend of bourbon, cognac, lemon juice, and sugar. But the barbecue styles in Mississippi are varied, and it's one of its strengths. The Mississippi barbecue largely resembles sweet Memphis-style sauces, but you can also find the biscuits, dry rubs, and even Carolina-inspired vinegar sauces. But it's all about the community barbecues because there's a long tradition of this within the state. So in Lafayette and Tate counties, goat is the meat of choice for barbecues, and it's been a part of summer picnics and reunions for generations. Now, who here has heard of the Alabama Slammer? Well, as the name suggests, this cocktail is thought to have originated in the late 1960s, 70s as a shot from the University of Alabama, and hence the name Alabama Slammer. Now, the recipe has morphed over time into a long drink made with amaretto, Southern Comfort, sloe gin, and orange juice. But let's face it, is really university students that you can imagine are the ones that have invented this. Nobody else is going to think of putting them together. And next, we are heading to look at the barbecue in Alabama, and it's principally focused on pork shoulder and pork ribs with a tomato-based sauce, not unlike Memphis, but the state is also the birthplace of the white barbecue sauce, which contains mayonnaise and is traditionally served on chicken. Looks pretty delicious in that photo right there. But no one loves barbecue quite like the people of Tennessee. And they have barbecue festivals in Memphis, Livingston, Savannah, Frankston, to name just a few. But really, the cream of the crop is the Jack Daniel's World Championships. It's an invitation event only, and it's in Lynchburg. And it's called the most prestigious barbecue championships in the world. Quite a bit of prize money to win, but it's here the award-winning teams will smoke, sear, and they'll have meats like pork ribs, chicken, shoulders and butts, beef briskets, and pretty much everything that you can imagine. But really, Tennessee's also famous for Jack. And Jack is Tennessee's whiskey gift to the world. So it's charcoal mellowed, sour mash number 7 is over 170 years old and really available everywhere around the world. Certainly something that I've had a night or two on in my past, and no doubt it will happen again as soon as we can get back on a plane and head over there to Tennessee. And now we are heading to North Carolina, and it's famous for its Lexington barbecue, also called the Piedmont or Western style, and it uses a red sauce or dip made from vinegar, tomatoes, and usually red pepper flakes, along with other spices. It's common in that Piedmont or that central region you can see there on the map. But North Carolina has also got 10 food and drink trails around the state. So you can have barbecue and wine, craft beer and ale trails. So there's lots of barbecue and booze to explore. And you might be a little bit confused by this picture because let's face it, it's not booze. But many an alcoholic tipple has been mixed with both of these. Now, Pepsi was born and created and manufactured in North Carolina, and they are also home to Cheerwine. Now, what is Cheerwine, I hear you say? Well, it's a cherry-flavoured soft drink that is often mixed with many alcoholic beverages, especially a vodka, and it has been produced since 1917. It's the oldest continuing soft drink still operated by the same family. And the other great thing about South Carolina is there's lots of great wines on offer. The first American viticultural area, which is a prestigious designation given to specific wine growing regions, was stated here in North Carolina in the Yadkin Valley. So those wine lovers, when they're in North Carolina, can do a few tastings through the vineyards as well. And now we are on to the star of our show, everybody, and that is South Carolina. So I'd really like to introduce you to Sarah McCure. She is the chef, owner and pitmaster of the Southside Smokehouse.
Hi there, my name is Sarah McClure, and I'm the chef, owner, and pitmaster of Southside Smokehouse in Landrum, South Carolina. For those of you not familiar with South Carolina, it's in a lovely little corner of the United States that's known for its sunny weather, wide beaches, great golf, and of course, delicious barbecue. In fact, South Carolina is the birthplace of barbecue, which is what we're going to be talking a little bit about today. Every year, people come to South Carolina from all over the world to relax and dig into our barbecue. And one of the big reasons why it's so special is because it's a deeply entrenched cultural tradition and a style of cooking meat that goes back 4 centuries to the early settlers and the Native Americans. So it goes without saying that people here are serious about their barbecue. And in South Carolina, pork is king. We cook over wood coals, and we take our time by smoking our barbecue using a method called slow and low, which you're about to learn a little more about right now.
Barbecuing to me is cooking meat slow over coal, and my old slogan is, if the fat ain't dripping on the coals, it's not barbecue. Southerners are low and slow anyway. We kind of take it easy. We don't get jumping up and excited, and barbecue's the same way. Most people just don't take the time to do it right.
You just got to watch it, keep the temperature right, and just cook it slow and low. That's about all you can do. The slower the better.
It's about the simplicity of leaving something alone. Don't change it. It's just some things that I think are worthwhile of keeping it the way it originally started from, and the guy that actually did it from the backyard, and he wasn't looking to get famous out of it or anything like that. He just wanted to take that piece of meat and make it the absolute best that it can. And I think it can only be achieved by, a lot of hours and low temperature.
We try to cook around 230, 240, and for a long time, and it's like we were talking about Southern life. I mean, just laid back, don't get in a hurry, and there's times you may have to push it a little bit if you're running late because you got to have it out. But overall, it's just a matter of just taking your time with it and cooking it, kind of babying along.
Cooking barbecue, it's a slow process, and I think living in this area and actually being involved with the barbecue, it's a laid back atmosphere. The original people that barbecued were farmers, and that was a family thing. So people from the community would come together and they'd cook a whole hog or they would cook their meat, and they would get together and socialize. And I think that's the whole idea, especially from our area, and I think maybe that's what makes South Carolina barbecue different.
Family and friends and food, that's what it's all about. That's the Southern way of life, is just family, friends, and food.
We want people to slow down and talk and be with your family. But if you need to go to the big city, then hey, it doesn't take long to get there at all. But we just got a certain feel about it, kind of being in the country. And yeah, we get a little aggravated sometimes when a tractor gets behind us and we want to get somewhere and we're going 10, 15 miles an hour. But that's kind of nice, because you know what, we all need to slow down sometimes and say, hey, we're going in too big a hurry. And it kind of helps me remember that it's better sometimes just to take it a little easier and enjoy the ride.
So as you can see, our barbecue is good because we literally put a lot of time into cooking it just right. And by the way, here's a little insider tip. A good Southerner would never fire up the backyard grill and say they're going to barbecue some hamburgers. Grilling is a very different kind of fast, high heat cooking, and there's no disputing that. What there is dispute about, however, is the sauce that you do or don't put on your barbecue. The good thing is there's no right or wrong, just personal preference. And because South Carolina is home of the 4 official sauces, you can always find a sauce that suits your tastes. Whether everyone agrees on it or not is another matter.
Most people can offer you a choice of sauce. And when I see that, I always want to ask them, do you not have a sauce that you're proud enough of to put on the meat? While it's hot, when you sauce it, it sucks the sauce in, plus the meat stays moist. You never have a problem with dry meat. That is our sauce, that's the only one we offer. And we built a huge business off of it.
I wouldn't get a barbecue place that puts sauce on anything first. We put no sauce on anything. That's up to you when it comes to the table. We just like the fact that you should be able to take that meat and taste it first. And if you put sauce on it in the back, you really don't know what you're getting. We like to see people try one of everything, because somebody that thought they never did like a certain kind may actually be turned on to something that they had no idea that they could or would like.
Well, the pretty lady, she's the mustard base. In South Carolina, the mustard based sauce is tradition. Most folk that are from South Carolina, they want mustard based. And then the sexy lady is the tomato base. You have some people from up north that love the red based barbecue sauce. And then we have the vinegar red, which is a vinegar base. The beauty of it is we don't put any of the sauces on the meat. You know, that's left up to the customer themselves.
You know, we give you the sauce on the side, so you basically choose the sauce you want and put it on yourself. But a lot of people don't even use the sauce, so it's one of those things.
We have 3 vinegar bases: mild, hot, ketchup base that you can choose, and we have a mustard base also. But you know, you get to choose. We don't put any sauce on except for the wet ribs. We do sauce them and glaze them and get them hot and caramelize them before we serve them, but that's the only thing that comes with sauce on it.
I think sauce is a personal condiment, and you know, it's arguable and regional and whatever, but my Ted's Red to me is a perfect complement to what I have to offer, and that's my preference. I cook it the way I like it, and here again, I'm not saying my way or the highway. I have choices.
So I hope this little discussion has made you hungry, but no meal is complete without a little something to wash it down. And here in South Carolina, we love our craft beer almost as much as we do our barbecue. Thank you. Whether it's a smooth golden lager, a Belgian style wheat, or a hoppy IPA, we put our own South Carolina spin on beer by using unique local ingredients. So here's a little more temptation for you to come and visit us.
If you love craft beer, you're coming to the right place. If you hate beer, you're coming to the right place, because there's so many different styles that you're going to find something that suits your fancy.
It's a small artisan process. It's back to your grandfather's lager.
South Carolina beer is probably one of the most under-recognized in the country. All from the mountains down to the coast through the Midlands, there are some wonderful beers being made.
Thanks for watching. I hope you learned a little bit about what makes South Carolina barbecue so special. Of course, the best thing you can do is come here and discover how it tastes for yourself. In fact, we even have a barbecue trail that you can follow for the best barbecue spots in South Carolina, from the coast all the way to the mountains. And if you're ever in Landrum, be sure to stop into Southside Smokehouse, and I'll personally serve up a heaping of our very best barbecue.
Well, I hope everybody is hungry after that. I tell you what, I have laughed quite a few times the first time I heard that, and I just love those South Carolina accents when they're coming in. But yeah, I hope that that's inspired you a little bit to, you know, get down to South Carolina and check out some of those barbecues. And coming up next, guys, next webinar will be episode 5, and it's going to be the US Civil Rights Trail in Alabama. Michelle Brower is going to take us through, and that's going to be on Wednesday, the 28th of July. It's going to be 10 a.m. for us Aussies and noon for our Kiwi mates. Once again, if anybody does need anything, my name is Penny. I'm the Travel South contact here. My details are just there on screen, so feel free to email me. So thank you everybody for really coming today. I really appreciate your time, and sending all my best wishes to everyone that's in lockdown, hopefully for a short time, whether they're in Sydney, Brisbane, WA, Melbourne people, you go out there and enjoy life because you deserve it. And Kiwis, stay safe over there as well. So thanks so much, everybody. I'll see you next month. And once again, really, really appreciate your time today. Thanks.